Alright, so I've been led to tell you the story. The story about the first time I met the devil. And I'm going to try not to get into the spirit of laughter because it does make me laugh, and I so enjoy laughing. But I'm going to try to stay out of that spirit of laughter as I tell this story so that you can realize the gifts within it. So hopefully this story will empower you so that you can gain that same spirit of laughter I enjoy. Alright, so this is quite a long time ago. I was in the Air Force. I was a security specialist. Yeah, I was one of those people with the black beret, the little emblem on the front, with a Strategic Air Command. And I was working with live ammunition on American soil. There's not a lot of military that can have actual live rounds on American soil, but I did because I was working, guarding our MX and our Peacekeeper missiles. So it was an ordinary trip to the field. Got all of our weapons and loaded up our armored vehicles and drove out to our site, and everything seemed normal. You know what I mean? And then I go to bed that night, and somehow I ended up in this cave. and it was an interesting cave because all along the way on the walls of this cave were these arched doorways. You know what I mean? There was an arched doorway here, arched doorway there, and I felt like I was kind of trying to find my way. And there was this little lady behind me. She was kind of short, but she kept saying the same thing. She was like this broken record, you know what I mean? She was like, "But he's such a nice boy. But he's such a nice boy." And she kept saying that over and over again, like she was trying to undermine my confidence. But I just let her go. It was a little irritating, but she didn't. It was no effect on my confidence as I kept opening these doors, and so many of the doors I opened, and there was just rock there. It didn't go anywhere. It was an empty path. And so I'm going through. Finally, I see this door, and I open it, and it opens up to a little small room. It's like a little square room, and it's got a little stairway going off from my side of the room, going down about 3 or 4 steps, and then you cross the room, and you go up again the same amount of steps, and then there's a little doorway there, and there's actually the biggest arched doorway I've seen so far, right there. And so I'm like, oh, cool, I'm starting to get somewhere. And so I open, as I walk down that stairway and whatnot, and I walk over, and the little lady's still on me going, "But he's such a nice boy, but he's such a nice boy." I can still hear her now. But anyway, so I get to this big arched doorway on the stairway, and I open it up, and there he is. He's a lot taller than me, by the way. But he's trying to look as scary as he can. He's just right there in the doorway when I opened it up. He's like, boom. And he was like, I didn't expect to see him there. But when I saw him, he tried to look scary. He didn't say anything. But I just started busting out in laughter. You know what I mean? I was laughing. And he's standing there. And then he looks at me and goes, "You'll be back." And I laughed even harder, and I said, "You have no power here." And I shut the door, and I walked back down the stairway, and this lady still followed me. But anyway, I walk up and I go get to the other door to come out of that little square room, and then when I open that door, boom, I'm awake. But I have never forgotten 1 second of that moment of laughing in his face. And I recognize him. I recognize when he said some evil soul to me the other day. And it gives me that spirit of laughter because he has no power here. When you live on the rock, when you have the rock of our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ with you, then when the devil shows up in your life, laugh at him because he has no power unless you allow him to take it from you. And the way he'll try to take it from you is with all those stupid things that he tries to use, He tries to undermine your confidence in yourself. he likes to try to make you feel like you're lost and don't know where you're going. He likes to create that confusion. He likes to try to make you feel afraid. And I'm here to tell you right now, laughter dispels all that. And he has no power where you live because you're a divine soul. And so when he shows up, and when his little minions show up to try to steal the joy in your life, you just laugh at them and tell them they have no power. I hope that's a gift for you on this beautiful season where people are supposed to be kind and caring and lifting each other up. And yet so many still live in their egos, tearing others down. You know the path. And I want you to make sure that on this holiday season that you worship our Heavenly Father and Jesus, not some sun god, and try not to sacrifice a life in your living room. Try not to use a fake tree if you must have one, but try not to sacrifice a tree in your living room for your children to watch die as you put presents underneath it to the sun god. If you start to look at the history of what you're doing, you're going to see that you've been participating in some activities you may not be proud of. But God forgives you because that's the way He is. He is what He is. You know what I mean? It's just like when those evil beings come up to me, they don't change who I am. They don't change my response. I'm unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? Their response doesn't dictate who I am. And so don't let any of those little entities that come into your life, sometimes with the only intention of stealing your joy, don't let them have any power. And tell them that. Don't even let them think they have any power. Laugh in their face as you tell them they don't.